One of the worst things about running a business is chasing people up for money. I just wish everyone paid on time as and when it is needed. So for us, it is David hasn't paid. Right, let's go knock on his door and find out what's going on. David? David? Hello everyone and welcome back to Saxlingham. So as you can see, David has finally paid us for the contracts we'd done. I think they would have been a few months ago now. I was just going through all our invoices and the books and whatnot and realised that there was 20 odd £1,000. Well, I think it was a £22,000 bill and a £24,000 bill just sat unpaid. So anyways, we now have that money, which is good. And with it being the winter months, everything's a bit sort of slower than normal. So it's more just feeding the cows, which we have bought an extra one. There was a very good heifer in the sale, so we went and got her. And yeah, they're now starting to look very, very good. But what we're going to do is we're going to go pack this up, and I think that we're then going to go and sleep for the night, because there isn't right much to do. When these cattle, when we get more into the cattle business, it will give us more and more to do over the winter months, because I would love to get a cattle shed at some point, and then there'll be mucking out to do and all sorts. This is the handy thing, having a big driveway, is you can pull nigh on any machinery on here. I reckon we'll be able to get the combine harvester onto the driveway if we tried. But right, let's go rest and we'll see you next month. So a few contracts have come in. We've got 2 fertilising contracts and a sowing contract, which the sowing contract is something that I've been looking for a rather large time, because I would like to buy ourselves our own drill, and I've never seen the need to do it until we could get some contracts in. So we have one there now. So we're just going to park this up into the shed. We're going to get our worker onto the spreader and he can go do fertiliser. And then we are going to have a look to see what drills we want. So, to be fair, I already know what drill we're going for, which I think would be brilliant for our farm, because everything is all about speed. So there our worker, he's off now to go spread some fertiliser, and we now want to go and get into the fent. And what we will do is we'll just order in. Let's just go around to the steps. Let's get ourselves in. We will then go and just make sure that the drill that we want is in stock for us. So looking through the selection, we have loads of 6 metres, which can do fertiliser at the same time. But we have our sprayer, so I don't think we need all that. These are all direct drills, but all 6 metres. We could go up to here for a 9 metre and put fertiliser in. Or this is what I'm wanting to use, because I know on the farm that I work with, we have one of these, although it's a 6 metre. I know it doesn't make much sense, because we can't do fertiliser. It's only 8 metres and a direct drill. But with the sprayer, I'm not too fussed around that. So we are going to go higher purchase, and we're going to look at putting 20% down, and we'll do that over 2 years. So it's only 5,500. So we'll purchase that. And let's get ourselves up to the store and pick it up, and we can then go sowing. We are going to have to also buy some seed and buy some fertiliser, because I think our fertiliser isn't going to, the fertiliser in the spreader isn't going to last as long as what we need it to. What I may do is just call in and see them, because I ain't spoke to Andy for a while, so we might as well go in and see how they're getting on. Obviously, they've been very, very good to us, with the likes of, we now have their new drill. I need to get some fertiliser for them to get some of that put out for us, and some seed, but we only have £9,000 left. So we're going for one bag, or one pallet I should say. So we'll get that, and then we need some fertiliser. And I would say we need, if we go for 2 bags of fertiliser, that should keep us going for a fair while. And now Andy's royally throwing a spanner in works. he has said that he has this baler second hand, 40,000. Oh, that's so, and we're down now to £4,000. We can risk it by not buying it, get a few contracts in, and then be able to buy it, or we take out a bank loan, which, to be fair, well, we're going to do that then. That's the most obvious sort of choice to me. Well, we could even go, let's go 5% down, 1 year, and we'll have that paid off. Purchase, right? That's very easily done. But right, so we're now going to go get sowing, I think, and it was barley that we needed to put into that field at the top right corner. So we have spent quite a bit of money today already without even really thinking about it. So let's reverse onto our new drill, and then we can start throwing these bags over. Oh yeah. Throwing them in. Let's change to barley and let's make our way over to field 43. So I'm hoping it's turn right here, and then this should bring us into the field if we just follow this track down a little bit maybe. Yeah, and then it'll be on our left hand side. And it'll be lovely to finally use this drill. It's a drill that I see, obviously, with our work, see a lot of. And it'll be nice to finally use it for myself. And I'm guessing there's the entrance to the field. I know I could go over this bit of grass, but they're fair big bumps when you go over them. You don't quite realise how big they actually are, to be fair. Right, let's just stop here. And we will unfold. And then we just pull into the field. We can get our GPS on to 2 headlands. So we want to start on a straight up and down. And then if we turn on, lower down, and get onto here. So we'll see how long this takes with this drill. Is it working? Let's go on to our map. Yes, that's working. So yeah, we'll get cracked on. Well, I've thoroughly enjoyed using that drill just then, and we're making a very neat, smart job of it. And but the seed-wise, we've used so much. Right, let's turn that off. We can lift it up and fold, and we will get back to the yard. So it's just a shame we can't finish these contracts if we wanted to, because that's something I would quite like to do, because we've only got that little bit left to go, and it would leave a proper nice sort of finish to it all. But right, we're going to get back to the yard. We will collect in all these contracts, and we'll see if there's any more, which I think there should be, well, at least I'm hoping, for a cultivating job. and I have seen the potential of something else to do, but I am very conscious that I think it was in one of the previous episodes, we just paid off all our hire purchases, and today alone we've added 2, and it may be a third one having to be added already. So there's a lot of money sort of going out straight away. So the question is where to put this. We have seed over on the left hand. Oh, there's our worker. I tell you what, he's some grafter is him, because he's straight off now. He's just come back and he's now straight off to go do his cultivating job for us. Do we put this into this store, or do we go put it into next door? I think next door, where all the seed and fertiliser, may be the best place for it. Yeah, so we're trying to keep everything sorted together. Whether that's Red Tractor approved, whether they'll approve of that, I don't know. But until they give us an inspection, we don't have to worry about things like that, do we? But right, let's slide this in, and I reckon we can just put this down in between the liquid fertiliser and our seed bags there, trying not to. That'll do before we go and rip any of them. So let's drop that off, and then I want to get to the store and I'll show you what I'm thinking of getting. But first we need to get these contracts in. So we have field 24, which that's 2,729, 32, so that's 4,373. And then our sowing contract, 7,449. So that's improved the bank balance quite a fair bit. And then I'll show you what we're going to go collect. So we are going to order one of these. So because we've got the square baler now, it makes sense that if we are to do any silage work for our cows or for anyone else, we can look at getting ourselves this, which would be very, very handy. And it also means that we can do the 240 bales. So hire purchase, let's go for, if we go for 11,000 on 1 year, let's purchase that, and then it should give us enough. I'm hoping that once we get these next 3 contracts done, when we move into next month, we'll have enough money to pay all the hire purchase agreements. Right, so if we spin round, it also goes very nicely. I didn't realise this, but it goes very nicely with our tractor. So, yeah, that was a very happy coincidence. So, field 5, I believe field 5 is up here on the left. And then which is the other one? Field 20. I'm sure our worker wasn't far away from in there doing fertiliser recently. Well, this is a lovely part of the countryside. We went through there to get into a field before, but we've never gone up this side. Unless, okay, we may have done then. I'm just looking at the buildings, just trying to, because I remember looking and thinking that there was a nice little yard in here, which I didn't know about. But right here are our bales. So let's get that open. And then this shouldn't take us, I think I say this about every job, it shouldn't take us too long at all. But, I don't want to bash it. That was close. I didn't want to bash that up against the wall or out like that for our first time using it, and then we go break it. And then first time using it, we can't even line it up with a bale properly. Right, let's get that into there and let's get wrapping. This is the last bale, and that's all the wrapping done. Which this wrapper is Rapido. I'm very, very glad I bought it, and like you say, without even realising it, I'm glad it's the same colour as our fend. It'll only look a bit different and a bit off when we go to put it onto the John Deere. But there is some more contracts done, and what we will do is we better shut this gate just to make sure that we keep the farmer happy. And then I've realised as well that our worker, which we'll have to have a word with him, because he was fertilising in the next field down, and by the looks of it, he left the gate open, which I can understand with no livestock being in there. That's completely fine. You know, nothing's going to get out. It won't cause any problems. But you would hate to see an open gate as an invitation for anybody to sort of go through it. So if possible, always keep them closed. So we'll get this done, and then we'll head back to the yard and just see what else there is that we can do for this month. Because obviously with our worker doing that contract he's in now, that cultivating contract, we will have to wait for him to be done. Well, Walter's just called asking whether we can do a cultivation contract for him. The only problem is it was a very, very big field, and Andy called just wanting to know how we're getting on with this wrapper, because it says it's new into them and they wanted to make sure that it's all fine. So, and he also said that he could loan us a tractor and a cultivator for a small fee to do Walter's contract. So we are going to just reverse this into here, which this is going to be a nightmare because anything small to reverse is always hard work. The slightest thing on the steering wheel and it goes flying. So we're going to reverse this in here, and then we'll probably jump in the pickup and go see what tractor and cultivator is left out for us, because I did say our worker was already out cultivating, so we would need something else. But right, let's just leave that there. We can take that off. Let's turn this off and jump into the pickup, and we'll go up to the store. I do hope it's big, and obviously with this bit of wet weather the ground's going to be very, very soft, so I just hope that we don't get stuck anywhere. But right, to the shop. And I think I said in one of the previous episodes, land is a very big thing that we want to do, but at the minute, because we can't really afford it, it makes more sense to be buying machinery so we can do different contracts and then make it so we're not having to lease anything all the time. But we will get there. We will get there. I'm adamant about that. And that is a fairly big cultivator. Then what's he giving us? A T8? Yeah, T8 435. So that's 435 horsepower. Tell you what, New Holland have it right. When they put after the model number, they actually put the horsepower number afterwards, which makes life so much easier to understand what you're doing, what you've got. So let's put that on, and then we are going to have to just go get that front weight just to help with traction, to keep some weight onto the front end of the tractor, which then will keep the front wheels down a bit better. Let's spin round to here. We're not going to be able to... Will we get it now? There we go. Let's put that on, and we will head down to field 13. And I'm hoping that if we get a fair bit started, if our worker finishes in 49, he may be able to come down and give us a hand just to try get as much of this field finished in what could be record time for Walter, but we'll see. So I'm going to guess if we go left here, it looks a big field. I think it's 14 acres or something. Yeah, and then we can pull ourselves into here. Oh, that's a lot bigger than what I thought. That's daunting, especially when you're going into it on your own. So 2 headlands, okay. Let's get these 2 headlands on. Let's get this unfolded. And considering, I think it would probably be easier to go this way around first. I'm rather hoping it will unfold out again once more, but I don't think that will be. I don't think that will be the case. I bet you we should soon fly through this. One would have thought, hopefully. But let's just make sure everything's right. So let's lower that down. We will get this onto the GPS, and see how we go.
Neon signs hum a hazy tune, dust motes dancing in the moon. Empty bar stool, whiskey neat, another heartbreak, bittersweet. She's gone, left nothing but a ghost, a memory that I love the most. And the jukebox whispers low and deep, a melody to soothe my sleep. Hank's still singing about lost loves and wine, a soundtrack to this pain of mine. As she climbed his voice, a gentle hand pulling me back to solid land. No need to change the mournful tune. This honky-tonk's my silver moon. Let the old songs play on through till this aching heart feels brand new. Remember dancing close and slow beneath the dim and gentle glow. Her laughter echoes in my head, a ghost of joy, now almost dead. The jukebox plays a memory of simpler times, was wild and free. A tear rolls down, I don't wipe it away. Just let the music lead the way.
14 and a bit odd acres done by just us. And I don't think it's not too bad a looking job. I do like this cultivator. It's been very much a red and yellow day with a Vardestad, is a Vardestad, isn't it? Yeah, Vardestad cultivator with a Vardestad drill. It's 99% contract finished, so we can get that folded up. It would be nice just to do that end bit there, and we'll take this back to the store. It will also be nice to see, which I will look up, is what does that drill, the horsepower that cultivator require? Because at times we've got to 8 miles an hour at times, and at other times I think we're down to 5 or 6. So it's whether this New Holland is just not powerful enough. So we'll just pull into here. What I do like about this cultivator, is it a cultivator or a disc harrow? I'm going to say cultivator, is the way it folds up is lovely. It is basically the same width as a tractor, so it's very, very compact. But right, let's leave this here. And so the tractor is 435 horsepower. Let's find out what that needs. So it should have been all right, because that's 400 horsepower. So I'm just going to put that down to then that the rain may have slowed it down. But what's that, 128,000? That's definitely something to buy in the near future. Right, let's go back to the pickup. And we'll have to, I think we'll use that in the next episode, but it's good for storage here. And whilst we're here, let's go on to our contracts. And we've got a few to collect now. So that's the wrapping. That's 2 wrapping contracts. That's the cultivation one we've just done. Another cultivation. And that now takes us back up to 34,000. So I think we'll end there. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you've all liked and enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Bye for now.